Well, this week the Senate rolled out its version of the bonding bill, and I'm happy to see that it's a little different than the House bill. I was a little confused by the House bill, but I'm certain that they have their reasons. Certainly not quite as much as what the governor wanted, but right in that $500 million range, just short of $500 million. If you combine the bonding bill that we did last year in a non-bonding bill year and add to this year's, it equals about $1 billion, which is about where we've been at for the last few biennium bonding bills. So, you know, I think it's a good bonding bill. I think it's a good compromise between the governor's bill and the House's bill. It provides about $179 million for higher ed. That's probably about 36% of the bill. About $125 million for state asset preservation. That's about another 25% of the bill. $35 million for local roads and bridges. $30 million for flood mitigation. We've got some flood mitigation projects that need to get wrapped up. They're not quite done yet. Thank goodness this was a year that we didn't have a big flood. We didn't have a flood problem. Probably going to have a drought problem, unfortunately. But we need to get these projects wrapped up because those flood situations are going to come back. So we need to get those done. Another $25 million as a start on the renovation of the exterior of the Capitol. I guess I believe, and the Senate believes, that we don't need to fund for the restoration of the Capitol all at once because they're not going to be able to spend it all at once. It's going to be a multi-year project. I think the best use of our bonding dollars is to sort of pay as you go, and I think we can spend about $25 million in the next year or two, and then as the next bonding cycle comes up, we'll see what the ongoing needs are and bond as we go. That frees up quite a bit of extra money to do other projects that are really in dire need. We've got another $20 million in there for wastewater infrastructure, and that's a pot of money that the local wastewater projects apply for grants, and as their need becomes more urgent than someone else's need, they rise to the top, and so those projects that are the most needy around the state. So it takes the political process out of it. So, you know, and speaking of the political process, another feature that we added to this year's bonding bill is an expansion of an existing deed grant program. Basically what it would do is for those projects that are maybe a little bit more, I guess we call them regional now, but they really are probably maybe a little more local in nature. Things like civic centers and swimming pools and community centers and those sorts of things that we've bonded for in the past. It's sort of come down to a political process, and I really felt, and other members of the committee felt, like it was time to take that out of the political process. Certainly some of those projects are good projects, but what we wanted to do is put those into a grant program, and so those projects that provide the most benefit for cost, so we'll do a cost-benefit analysis and a number of other things, geographical sparsity, so we can spread out the geographicness of these projects, spread them out throughout the state, and have them go through a competitive grant program rather than it being a political process. And I think, you know, so it gets it away from that pork barrel sort of a thing that people get concerned about, and instead puts it into a needs basis, a cost-benefit analysis basis, in which projects really deserve to rise to the top.